that to reduce, the traffic woes of Lagos residents. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, desperate times, they say, call for desperate measures. True to this maxim, the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, has ordered dethroning of 2 traditional rulers over alleged complicity in kidnapping and irregular appointment procedures. The Okumagbe of Wano Kingdom in Agenebude George Oshiakpi Egabo in Esako East was indicted over alleged kidnapping activities within his domain, while Lukman Akemokwe was dethroned for violating customary laws regulating succession to the throne. All right, I'll start with you, Olayinka. What do you make of the decisive action, by the governor, dethroning a traditional ruler, complicity in kidnapping in his domain?
Well, it is a good thing. But I want to understand, is it because there are kidnapping in his domain?
Yes.
Or because he's linked to it? Because, yes, traditional rulers should have the news of the community at their fingertips and all that. But at the same time, we also need to be careful so that there are some things that happen where we think that, oh, they should know, which they don't know. So if it is kidnapping in his community that is the problem, the traditional ruler will need to call all his valets and subjects and all the rest of them to dialogue with them. But if it is that is directly linked, because, I mean, in all honesty, we have seen people who you think are up there, people who we think are very upright, but behind it, you know that there's something else.
But
there.
I want to believe that as a monarch,
yes,
you should be in the know of what is happening in your domain.
Yes, I'm not saying
intelligence-wise and all of.
Because he is closer to the people,
sure,
and he has people who are close to the to the ground, so they should be able to give him information. And also, this will also serve as a lesson to many of the monarchs, because some of them only sit on that throne expecting returns from everywhere, not putting their ears to the ground. And since the governor has taken that decisive action, I believe it's going to
send a strong
signal to many others that, look, you cannot, bad things cannot be happening, especially the issue of kidnapping. It is becoming so rampant, and so, I mean, you now begin to ask yourself, which state was it yesterday? I think, it was the same.
Yes, that they demolished houses.
Exactly.
Yes,
look, when you look at the exterior of the house, you say, no, na big man, they live here. But when they got inside, shrines here and there, and
human skulls
and all that. So people must know. Look, there's no secret anywhere. At least one or two people. If one or two people have had something, it's no more secretive. Because one way or the other, the next person will hear. So the traditional rulers, either in Edo, in Lagos, in Plateau, everywhere around the country, must be taken to confidence. The governors and the local government chairmen must task them and hold meeting with them from time to time that, look, all the bushes, all the forest in your area, we want to know what is going on there.
Absolutely.
And that is the way to cope all these things. Absolutely. We shouldn't wait for the state government. We shouldn't wait for the federal government. Local government and the traditional rulers must wake up to do their duty in their small area.
In the area of intelligence.
Yes.
All right, the other side of this story is the governor's irregular appointment. The governor dethroned another traditional and installed the rightful person on the throne. Now, is this a case of politics meddling into tradition? talk about appointment of traditional rulers. They put politics to it. And what are your thoughts on this?
Well, there's sometimes politics come into it.
Must politics come into it?
You know, and it shouldn't, because anything traditional has to go through the traditional way. You understand? You know, but this one, I think, from what I read, that Moro Umoru was appointed and was removed because he was claiming that stool was vacant, but the present governor said that it was not vacant, meaning that they would have checked everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes issues like this, you know, causes problem.
True.
In a community.
Very true.
You just notice that, okay, a particular family is supposed to be the one to lead, to become the Oba or the king there.
Yeah.
And eventually, because they didn't go through this normal process of, oh, the next family is supposed to take over, then another one will be insisting that it has to be me, or it has to be my son, or, you know, it has to be another family. That is the major problem. So you just
maybe
notice
it's the
that
favorite of a politician up there.
Yeah, up there. You know, eventually you now just see unnecessary, you know, rivalry in a small community. You begin to wonder what is even in this thing.
Exactly.
You know, but you won't know that it is because they didn't follow the rules, and the rules there was no vacancy there. And so you now went there, because maybe a politician, he knows a big man, and then they remove him, and then from there. So the governor is doing the right thing. So I've checked this, you know, to say, no, Mr. Umoru, Mr. Umoru, come down for, what is his name, Aliu, Danishi. You go back in there, because the stool was not vacant.
And the fact that the governor did not even play politics.
No, he didn't. You know, so it has to be like this.
The issue of politics. We should also ask our traditional rulers, or those who appoint them.
Okay.
Money also plays a big role, if not a bigger role. Because you find out nowadays, you just hear that somebody has become a traditional ruler or a chief or whatever in his domain because he has money. So politics has its own aspect, money has its own aspect.
And money plays a very big role.
Exactly. And that is the problem we are having in Nigeria today. If you have money, a friend of mine used to say, we use money to check insults. Which is, I mean,
and it's true.
It's true. Because people, Yoruba will say that if there's any problem that money cannot solve,
So,
more money will solve it.
solve
So, and we have made money so much important, like a god that everybody worship, to the point that
okay, what Yoruba said is the problem that money cannot solve will remain there.
It was Okpebholo that said, what's money more money can solve.
That is what I'm saying now. The modern Gen Zs have changed it that more money will solve it.
Sir.
But since we're talking customs tradition, let's just stick to what the proverb is.
That's what I'm saying. Look, people must have a new thinking.
Sure.
The way we live our life now, money has become the major determinant of everything. And it cannot solve any problem. The traditional stool itself has become commoditized.
And this is something that's supposed to be sacred.
Exactly.
You know,
there are some people that should not even get near the stool in the first place. But they are the ones sitting on the throne now.
Political favors and
exactly. So politics, money, and everything has destabilized. That is why in those days, if a traditional ruler is passing in a domain, everybody will come out and lie down and bow down. And but today, even at parties, they come there. I mean, so that's sacred.
All right. We
have been bastardized.
Yeah, I apologize. We have a Pastor Samuel calling from Rivers. Pastor Samuel, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Pastor Samuel, are you still with us?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Let's talk. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. We can
Good
hear
evening.
you. Go ahead.
Okay. Sir, the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, when I was in the streets, yet to become a pastor, I will tell you for free that these things are business. Hello, are you hearing?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, dear. All right, then. We lost that network. We lost that connection there. But looking at the fact that removing a monarch because, do you think putting traditional rulers on notice, will curb insecurity in their domain?
No,
Just like
see,
what
the
the
thing
government
is, for us to curb insecurity, we need the support of the traditional rulers.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they are in charge.
Yeah, we need the support.
They
absolutely.
know.
They are in
Yeah.
charge of that particular domain.
If any strange person,
If any
enters
strange
the
person
community,
comes, like where you come from,
Yes.
when once you go there, they know,
Lagbaja.
Exactly.
you understand?
Yeah.
You understand? So if another person is coming, or maybe both of us go to your village now, they will say, Oreshegun Lomu,
Yeah,
Asuko,
exactly.
who, Ore.
Yes,
You
Yeah.
understand? That's
Yeah.
what they will say.
So the
Yeah.
intelligence.
So
Yeah.
immediately you know that, they are following up to know that the son of Oga Oreshegun has got a visitor. You understand? So that is how traditional institutions, run their own government.
True.
And that is why we will keep having vigilantes being set up by them. But the moment they begin to leave that, that particular duty and responsibility and say everything has to be government, that is when we begin to have problem. Or they pursue money and leave, their domain. Because most of them, sometimes, some of them even collect this chieftaincy title or this, this duty, and they will not even stay in their domain.
At all.
They'll be going to the capital.
Yeah.
They will have houses here. Their palace is in their domain.
Some are even
and
out
then,
of the country.
And then,
But anyway, let's move straight to our final conversation. Let's talk politics. Now, after the People's Democratic Party (PDP) lost key members, including a former governor Ifeanyi Okowa and a sitting governor of Delta State Sheriff Oboroweri, to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), it appears the party will brace for more. The PDP is about to undergo another shake-up as the governor of Okpebholo State, Umo Eno, is set to jump ship after declaring his support for President Bola Tinubu's administration. This indicates that the PDP is losing its grip on the South-South states, with Edo, Delta, and Cross River State already aligning with the APC. All right, Olayinka, the governor of Okpebholo State, he used an analogy, of the faulty airplane